Welcome to another episode of Newsstand versus Newsletter. I'm your host, the future Hall of Famer, Scottie B. I'm going to bring Patriarch Andrew in. Patriarch Andrew in. I can't even talk tonight. And here comes Andrew. Everybody with the American flag. Hacksaw Jimmy Andrew.
Yeah.
There he goes. Yes, what's going on there, Mr. Andrew?
Well, I've been a walking fool. I'll tell you what. I walked 186 kilometers last week. And
for what reason is that, Andrew? Tell the people why.
I am Pokemon Go, folks. I'm hooked on it. And
he's 12. He's 12. Everybody, he's 12 years old.
Hey, I'm under 180 for the first time since the year that we're gonna do.
And a year that we're not too excited to do. But I will say, we're going to say the year, then we're going to go over a couple things. We're doing 2009. Now, before you log off and say, fuck that shit, I'm out, we have a couple things to bring up. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, comment. We have a contest going for, is our 100th subscriber gets 3 free months of YouTube Premium. And trust me, people, if you don't have the YouTube Premium, you don't know what you're missing. It is the greatest thing in the world.
And it's not the 100th subscriber. It's as soon as we get to 100 subscribers.
It's a random one.
Yeah,
that makes sense. And I'll tell you something, YouTube Premium. The music side is pretty good, actually. They have, I don't know, I haven't listened to it in a little bit, but they have like really rare stuff. Not like Spotify where it's all like, it's just kind of corporate. And what else? In the halftime show, what are we doing for the halftime show today, Andrew?
What the halftime show is on this edition of Newsstand versus Newsletter will be each year of our lives, we're going to say what our favorite match was. So
I'm going to start mine in 1938.
Stanislaus, Zabisco, some Ed Strangler Lewis on there. It's going to be fun.
All right. So 2009, what's going on in the world of Andrew in 2009?
Honestly, Scott, my best year.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like that's when I peaked. And as soon as 2010 happened,
went down.
My metabolism just decided, hey. All of that, taking advantage of, being tall and skinny, that's over now. From now on, you walk by a cookie, you're going to put on 3 pounds. And I have to work at it now, but back then I didn't have to do shit. And I was a 32, 34, like pants, medium-sized shirts, which is funny because I'm wearing an extra large now that I won. But I also I did quite well for myself in 2009. I think that's when I peaked. How about yourself?
It's kind of a bit of a blur. I think I was there in 2008. I got a little. Oh no, it wasn't too bad. I just had a job, girlfriend. That was about it, man. It's kind of. I was 31. I know that. I was 31. But that's all I really remember about it, to be honest. I forget where I had a place. I had a place. Oh, I lived in a real dumpy little apartment, so maybe it wasn't that good of a year. I lived in the hood. I remember, I'll tell you a funny story about it. I was living in this apartment. It was bottom floor. It was a real bad part of the city. And I was sitting in my house. It was a Thursday night. I was watching TV. And mind my language, but whatever. It's not made for kids. And all of a sudden, I hear this car pull up. And I was like, yeah, we'll get them motherfuckers. Da, 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 da. And I hear this stomp up the stairs. And the guy above me got robbed. He was a drug dealer. And they robbed him. And I just, okay, yeah, whatever. Just watch TV. They robbed them, got in the car and left. And I was like, 20 minutes later, the cops were there. I was like, oh. Like, it was a bad part of the city. It wasn't a horrible year. And you talk about peaking. I was really, at least in my personal life, except for the apartment, doing really well with the ladies and stuff. I'll definitely admit that. I had a very good year with the ladies. But yeah, that was about it. I think I worked at a call center. I remember I quit it I got fired. I slept with the girl I worked with and then ended it, and she didn't like that idea. So we had sent some emails back and forth, and she sent that email to HR, and I was gone. But whatever. All right, let's jump into 2009 and pro wrestling. We're going to get right into our kids. We're going to start with our first award of the evening. It's going to be Rookie of the Year. Andrew, who wants to go first?
You can guess mine.
I'm going to go with Ricky Steamboat Jr.
Good guess. It's Mike Seidel. That's Matt's younger brother. Mike Seidel wins it with 24% of the vote. First runner-up is Jesse Neal with 19%. Second runner-up is Brittany Savage with 11%. Third runner-up is JT Flash with 8%. And honorable mentions totaling 38% of the vote.
Lou Albano.
Trent Beretta, Wes Briscoe, Duke Rotundo, and Matt Taven.
And everybody, if you're wondering about the Lou Albano comment, you got to go back to some of the other shows and watch it, because Lou Albano was popping up in like the mid-90s for some reason in these awards. And we're like, how the fuck did Lou Albano get in there in the mid-90s? That's why the Lou Albano jokes are. That's people are thinking, why is it saying Lou Albano? All right, I got to go into mine here. Hold on a second. Let me grab my list. Guess mine.
I'm going to guess Jesse Neal.
You guessed incorrectly. It is Frightmare. No clue who that is. I'm guessing it's an independent wrestler. I don't know who that is. I did look it up. Now, I made this list a few weeks ago, and I haven't looked at it since. So we have Frightmare was number 1. Ricky Steamboat Jr., Brutus Magnus, Rhoita Hama, Cody Deaner, Strongman John Anderson, Bo Rotundo, Jesse Neal, and Chris Jones. Not Chris Jones in the Kansas City Chiefs, by the way. Chris Jones is a wrestler. I don't know who either one of these people are. I really don't. So I don't know. I'll just go with I don't know. I can't go with anything.
No,
I don't know who
that's fine. You
is.
can abstain. I only know one of them, but because I know at least one, I'm gonna go with Mike Siddell. So I'm gonna give it to PWI.
All right, he's simple enough. Let's go into the next award. Most improved. Most improved wrestler for me is
it The Miz?
You are correct, and it's funny because he won this before. How do you win it more than once?
Oh, I've seen other wrestlers win it more than once.
It's very odd, but yes, The Miz wins it. He wins it with 664 votes. Cody Rhodes, your favorite wrestler, second. Kofi Kingston, Zack Ryder, Dolph Ziggler, Brutus Magnus, Chris Hero, Goldust, Prince Devitt, and Kenny King. I'm going to pick Cody Rhodes for you.
Actually, Mr. John Morrison. He wins Most Improved Wrestler of the Year with 22% of the vote. First runner-up is Dolph Ziggler with 19%. Second runner-up is Eric Young with 11%. Third runner-up is The Miz with 10%. And honorable mentions totaling 38% of the vote include Ted DiBiase Jr., El Generico, Tyson Kidd, Kofi Kingston, Maurice, Zack Ryder, Sheamus, and James Storm.
I'll go with Miz.
Yeah, I'm going to agree.
Okay. All right. We're just burning through these bad boys. The next one for you is Inspirational Wrestler. And you know what that means for me? Most disgusting tactic. Inspirational Wrestler. Oh my God. I have no idea for 2009, man. I'm just going to pick Cody.
Cody? No, it is Mr. Ricky the Dragon.
Oh, yeah. Because he came back. My God, I'm stupid. That makes sense.
Ricky Steamboat wins it with 20% of the vote. First runner-up is Tommy Dreamer with 17%. Second runner-up is Sting with 15%. Third runner-up is John Cena with 14%. And honorable mentions totaling 34% of the vote include Tyler Black, Bryan Danielson, Finlay, Jeff Hardy, Jerry Lynn, Melina, and Rey Mysterio Jr.
Okay. My most disgusting tactic per Pro Wrestling Illustrated for 2009.
That's tough. Because I wasn't watching then, so...
I know. It's a rough one, man.
I'm going to just go with tribute. Oh, actually, sorry. Be a Star?
Piggy James.
Oh.
Piggy James angle. I don't remember because I wasn't watching much either, but that was one. Number 2 was Vicky Guerrero being called a pig. Number 3, using Jeff Hardy's death of Jeff Hardy's dog and the Hardy Boys angle. And WWE not acknowledging the death of Umaga on TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, guys were dropping like flies and they probably didn't want the publicity. Like, realistically, right? So that's what I'm assuming.
Wait till I give the in memoriam here.
Oh, we'll be here for about a week. So the next one for you is most popular wrestler. For me, guess it, most underrated wrestler of 2009.
I'm going to go Dolph Ziggler.
Evan Bourne gets most underrated wrestler. Christian second. Your boy Jack Swagger's third. That's fucking hilarious. Alex Shelley, William Regal, Sheldon Benjamin, Mike Knox, Paul Burchill, Tyson Kidd, and MVP. Honorable mention, Dolph Ziggler and Primo. Most popular wrestler for you, I'm going to go with Mr. John Cena.
Actually, Mr. Jeff.
Oh, I should have picked Jeff Hardy. That's my bad.
Jeff Hardy wins most popular wrestler of the year with 29% of the vote. First runner-up is John Cena with 26%. Second runner-up is Sting with 11%. Third runner-up is The Undertaker with 10%. And honorable mentions totaling 24% of the vote include Evan Bourne, Christian Cage, Kofi Kingston, Bobby Lashley, Shawn Michaels, John Morrison, AJ Styles, and Triple H.
All right. Next award, Tag Team of the Year. Let me grab my list here. For you, I'm going to pick. I'm looking through my list to try to find tag teams here. Shawn Michaels, Triple H.
It is Team 3D.
Oh my god! You gotta be kidding me, man.
Also,
that
known as
is
the was
garbage.
Yeah, they win it with 29% of the vote.
First 29% of people are fucking stupid.
Beer Money Incorporated. Second runner-up is Chris Jericho and The Big Show. Third runner-up is D-Generation X with 13% of the vote. And honorable mentions totaling 16% include Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes, Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards, Kaio Kia and Minoru Suzuki, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, and Tyson Kidd and David Hart Smith.
All right. Guess mine.
I'm going to say Beer Money.
Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards. They get, and surprisingly, Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson are two. Chris Jericho and Big Show, Robert Roode and James Storm, Prince Devitt, and I cannot pronounce another guy's name. Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley, Kevin Steen and El Generico, Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes, and your favorite tag team of all time, Triple H and Shawn Michaels. And I'll tell you, man, you can't beat some DX like last night on Raw. How many times did you rewatch that? Like, you must have just been losing your mind with that. Were you freaking out?
I actually didn't watch it. I feel like a fake fan. I haven't watched Raw in a minute.
You should not lie in front of all these people, Andrew. Look how many people are watching right now. Millions and millions. All right. Next award, Comeback of the Year. For me, it's Best Show of the Year. So what is the Best Show of the Year?
I'm going to say Mania.
No, it is Dragon Gate, and I could not find an actual logo for this show, so I'm just going to read it off. Dragon Gate USA Open, that was in Philly. UFC 100. I remember UFC 100 very well. That was and I'm not a big UFC guy. We watched it at my place live. That was a big deal.
That was with Brock, right?
Yeah. And it was that was a stacked card, man. That's when UFC was really getting really popular, even with the mainstream. Dragon Gate UFC, the Open, the Untouchable Gate in Chicago, WrestleMania 25 in Houston, TNA Turning Point, New Japan January 4th show, Backlash, and Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor. Comeback of the Year. I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy on that one, too. No, wait. I'm going with Sting.
Sting's a good guess, but it's actually Jerry Lynn.
What Jerry Lynn. They go TNA or something?
Ring of Honor. He won the Ring of Honor title. I think he was piggybacking off of the success of The Wrestler.
Yeah.
I believe he was Mickey Rourke's stunt double in that movie.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So he wins it with 20% of the vote. First runner-up is Ricky Steamboat with 17%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Second runner-up is The Undertaker with 13%. And third runner-up is Mick Foley with 11%. Honorable mentions totaling 39% include Batista, Christian, Daphne, Tommy Dreamer, Jeff Jarrett, Shawn Michaels, The Big Show, and Tara.
All right. So it's halftime show time.
By the way,
go ahead.
We forgot to give our picks for Tag Team of the Year. Do you prefer the Wrestling Observer newsletter or PWI?
No, PW or Wrestling Observer, 100%. Fuck PWI, man. Fuck the Dudleys. I can't stand them. All right, so for the halftime show, we're going to jump into our sports and our movies and TV. We'll burn through them, and then we'll jump into our top matches of our lifetime. Now, we need our sarcastic, but I'm actually 2 years older than Andrew, so mine starting in 78. NFL, the draft is held on April 25th to 26th. Number 1 overall pick, everyone's favorite LA Rams quarterback, Matt Stafford, who is garbage. I don't know when this is going out, but this is being recorded after week 5, and Matt Stafford fucking sucks.
He's on your bench now, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's staying on my bench. He's not coming off the fucking bench. Like, I was a little worried of Brady this week, but, like, I mean, Stafford might... He's not getting dropped because, well, why would I drop him for? There's no point. Who was the top team in the NFL in 2009?
Was it the Minnesota Vikings?
It was the Indianapolis Colts. They went... Let's go back, check a look at my list. They went 14-2. I remember that year because they lost in the playoffs, I think. And worst team?
Was it the Lions?
St. Louis Rams. The Rams went. They're going to be back there again soon enough.
Didn't they pick up what's his face that we grabbed from them?
Sam Bradford. Yeah,
Sam
they were
Bradford.
1-15. They got Bradford the next year. Okay, let's go back in here. And the Super Bowl, the Saints beat the Colts because Peyton Manning kept throwing the exact same pass over and over, got picked sixth, and he played horrible in that game. I remember that.
You know why the Saints made it to the Super Bowl?
Well, didn't Brett Favre throw an interception?
Oh my God! Cider.
Yeah, he wasn't the brightest cat. Most valuable player, Peyton Manning. Coach of the year, Marvin Lewis. Offensive player of the year, Chad Johnson. Defensive player of the year, Charles Woodson. Offensive rookie of the year, Percy Harvin from the Minnesota Vikings. Defensive rookie of the year, Brian Cushing from the Houston Texans. Comeback player of the year, Tommy Brady, who's never going to fucking retire. Brian Walsh, the Kansas City Chiefs, won Walter Payton Man of the Year. And Super Bowl MVP was Drew Brees. For baseball, top team in baseball.
Was it the Yankees?
It is the Yankees. I just gave away who won the World Series. Worst team.
Baltimore?
The Nationals. Let's take a look at the Yankees and the records here 1 second. The Yankees were 103-59. The Nationals were 59-103. So it was a complete flip. The Yankees beat the Phillies 4-2 in the World Series. Rookie of the Year was Chris Coughlin from Florida. Andrew Bailey from Oakland. Cy Young, Tim Lincecum. I can't pronounce his last name. The guy was San Fran. Everyone knows who he is.
Yep.
Zach Greinke from KC was the Cy Young American League. Manager of the Year, Jim Tracy for Colorado. And Mike Sosa for I can't pronounce his last name, from LA. Most valuable player, Albert Pujols from St. Louis. And Joe Meyer from Minnesota. And NBA, best team and worst team.
Were the Spurs the best?
Cleveland Cavaliers. Worst team.
Was it the Nets?
The fucking Kings. They still have made the playoffs, man. They've been fuck that team. Cleveland was 66-16. The Kings were 17-65. The Lakers beat the Magic in the finals 4-1. I think the Magic beat the Cavaliers in the conference final. Most valuable player, LeBron James from Cleveland. Defensive player of the year, Dwight Howard from Orlando. Rookie of the year, Derrick Rose from Chicago. Sixth man, Jason Terry. Most improved, Danny Gregor from Indy. Mike Brown was coach of the year. And that's all that. And last but least, the NHL best and worst team.
Was Pittsburgh the best?
San Jose.
Oh, right, yeah.
And the worst team.
Was it Florida?
The fucking Islanders, remember? They made that crazy. Remember they got that, what is the 15-year contract, DiPietro? Yeah. Okay, let's see here. The Pittsburgh beat the Red Wings 4-3 in the Stanley Cup final. Let's go through a couple. Steve Mason was the Calder Trophy. Conn Smythe was Malkin. Let's see what else we got here. Hart Trophy was Ovechkin. Jack Adams was Chara. Ovechkin got the Rocket Richard Trophy. Tim Thomas from Boston got the Vezina. All right, so that's sports. Let's go into music, TV, movies, and all that jazz, and then we'll get into our halftime show. Top TV shows for 2009. NCIS, CIS Crime Scene Investigation, Dancing with the Stars Monday, American Idol Tuesday, and the top show was American Idol Wednesday. Fuck off right there with that bullshit. That is enough of that garbage. Trash, man. That's what that is. Hold on here. There we go. Top albums. And for some reason, the pictures. It's going to drive us. Michael Bublé, Crazy Love. I know you had that album on repeat, Andrew. The End by the Black Eyed Peas. Mumford & Sons, Sigh No More. Lady Gaga, The Fame Monster. And the number one album is Susan Boyle, I Dreamed a Dream. Where are we at? We'll throw that little picture up for her. There she is. And yeah, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't care. All right, let's get to the next one. We have to get to the bottom here. Top video games, 2009. Wii Fit Plus, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Wii Resorts, and the number one game was Wii Sports. Wii Sports was addictive. You ever play that shit?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That's I don't care who you are. That is a good fucking time playing Wii Sports. We used to play bowling a lot after smoking. Well, they would smoke marijuana. I wouldn't do that because it was illegal at the time. DVDs. Top DVDs. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Megastar Escape to Africa. Up. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. And the number one DVD is Twilight. And I know you just look at the smile on his face, everybody. He loves Twilight.
You know, I didn't see any of those.
I didn't see them either. And last but least, movies. Avatar's number 5. Twilight Saga, New Moon. I dated a girl who loved that shit. Up. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. And the number one movie in 2009 is somewhere's here on my list. And I can't.
Are you sure it wasn't Avatar?
No, it wasn't. I think Avatar was in 08. I think that just it rolled over to 09. Yeah.
Oh.
Transformers was number 1. All right, get your list out there, Slick. And let's do our top matches of our lifetime. Now, I'm going to start because I'm older. You ready? 1978, Billy Graham versus Dusty Rhodes in the bull rope match. I have seen it once, and for me, that was more almost like a magazine thing because that was remember that magazine where he has him hooked off the ropes.
Yeah,
that picture just like.
I think it was either on Dusty's DVD or Billy Graham's DVD or both. I'm not sure because I know they also had another match. Was a Texas Death Match.
Texas Death Match, yeah.
Yeah, so one of them was on one and the other one was on the other, but I did see it.
1979. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying it's a good match.
1979, Bob Backlund versus Pat Patterson in a cage match, which just surprises. I'm not a big fan of cage match, but that is probably the best cage match I've seen. Not including like war games and stuff. Like just a straight cage match. Did you see that match, by the way?
No.
Really? No, it's really good. It's on the cage match DVD. 1980. Yeah, it's really good. I'll let you go with 1980, then I'll do mine.
1980, I'm going with Giant Baba and Jumbo Shruta versus the Funks.
For me, 1980, I'm going to go with Bob Backlund versus Kemba Texas Death Match.
Great match.
1981.
1981 is the Funks versus Jimmy Snuka and Bruiser Brody.
I agree. That match is some fucking kick-ass, man. That is a deadly. And I'll try to put links in the description for a lot of these matches if I can find, as many as I can find. And I'll tell you, people, you want to see fucking heat, who hasn't seen it, man, the end of that match is chaotic, and it is fucking great. 1982.
1982, I have the Funks versus Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody.
I have Adrian Adonis versus Bob Backlund. That's one of my favorite matches ever. I love that match. And it's long. And people say, oh, it's kind of boring. I don't know, man. They go up and down, and they really bring when you think the finish is coming, they go back, and it's like, wow, they get the crowd up, and then they bring them back down again. 1983.
1983, Roddy Piper versus Greg the Hammer Valentine from Starrcade 80.
Same here. Fucking great, man. That's an awesome match, man. That's how you do a dog collar match, brother. Right there. 1984.
1984, Kerry Von Erich versus Jumbo Shruta.
1984 is Sergeant Slaughter versus the Iron Sheik, the boot camp match. And I'll try to find the one where they're cursing like crazy in the back. That's before the boot camp match. 1985. This is starting to get interesting a little bit.
85, I had a couple of contenders, but I'm going to go with Ric Flair versus Rick Martel.
I'm grabbing Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff from Saturday's Main Event.
Great match, yeah.
Yeah,
I was also contemplating Tully versus Magnum from Starcade.
That's an awesome ending to that Piper. Like I know it's like a screw job ending, but the way like it's just really intense, and that was a great feud between them two.
They had
1986.
good matches at MSG too.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. 1986.
1986, Nick Bockwinkel versus Kurt Hennig, the hour-long draw.
Barry Windham versus Ric Flair from Battle of the Belts.
Okay.
1987.
First War Games.
I'm going with Savage Steamboat. I know people say it's slightly overrated, but I like it a lot.
Oh, it's a great match.
1988.
88, honestly, like I mentioned to you on the phone, one of the tougher years because I found there, like, I'm not in love with the Tenru Jumbo series like a lot of people are. I don't hate it, but I don't have that same emotional connection to it. So I'm going to go with Fantastics versus Midnight Express from the first Flash.
Going Sting and Flair from the first Flash. So same card. 1989.
Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat from Clash of the Champions 6.
Brainbusters versus Demolition in the Saturday's main event. Great match. Love it. 2 of 3 falls. Kind of a fucking weird ending, but I love it, man. It's kind of more my childhood, but anyway. 1990.
1990, Ric Flair versus Lex Luger from Russell War.
Vader versus Stan Hansen from the joint show. That is fucking hell of a match, man. It's just a fucking beatdown is all that thing is. But it's I'll definitely try to find that. I want to put that in the description. 1991.
1991, The Enforcers versus Dustin Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat.
Go Randy Savage and Jake Robertson Tuesday in Texas. Yep. 1992.
Sting versus Big Van Vader from Great American Bash.
Bret Hart versus Davey Boy Smith, SummerSlam 92.
Yep.
1993.
93, Big Van Vader versus Sting from Super Brawl 3.
Ric Flair versus Big Van Vader from Starrcade 93. 1994.
Steve Austin versus Ricky Steamboat from Clash of the Champions.
Matsuhiro Misawa versus Kawata. June 3rd, I think, was the date of that match. 1995.
1995, Bret Hart versus Big Daddy Cool Diesel from Survivor Series.
Mine was Matsuhiro Misawa and Kenta Kobashi versus Tao and Kawada. That was, I don't know the date, but
June 5th.
Was it June 5th? Okay, great.
Yeah, it's funny because my birthday's June 4th, so one year it's the 3rd, the next year it's the 5th.
Fantastic match, man. I love it. Still, I could rewatch that 15 times over. 1996.
Bret Hart versus Steve Austin from Survivor Series.
Ultimo Dragon versus Dean Malenko from Starrcade 96. 1997. I think we're both going to agree with this one.
Yeah, Bret Hart versus Steve Austin from WrestleMania 13.
Same here. 1998.
I'm surprised he didn't have Piper versus Hogan in the cage.
Oh, well, I couldn't. That's too obvious.
Yeah. 98, DDP versus Bill Goldberg from Halloween Havoc.
I'm going Trips and Rock, the ladder match from SummerSlam. Like it a lot, yeah. 1999.
Bret Hart versus Chris Benoit.
Same. Yeah, same here. 2000.
Biano 3 versus Atlantis. Mask versus mask match.
Triple H versus Cactus Jack from the Rumble. 2001.
Brian Danielson versus Low Key from July 21st with Ricky Steamboat as a special referee.
I've seen them, but I can't remember them, so I can't go with it. I'm going TLC for Mania 17. 2002.
Jushin Liger and Minoru Tanaka versus Tsushi Kikuchi and Yoshinobu Kanemaru from Noah. That was when Liger was a babyface in New Japan and a heel when he went to Noah, and it was great stuff.
Brock Lesnar versus The Rock from SummerSlam. 2003.
Brian Danielson versus Paul London, Ring of Honor from April 12th.
Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle from Rumble 03. 2004.
Triple X versus America's Most Wanted. That was, of course, the infamous cage walk match. The best Impact / TNA match I've ever seen.
I got the Mania 20 main event. Triple H, Michaels, and Benoit. 2005.
Royal Rumble.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I find years where it's like, I don't really know what to pick. You can't go wrong with the Rumble.
I got Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels from Mania. 2006.
Fit Finlay versus Chris Benoit from Judgment Day.
Edge versus Mick Foley from WrestleMania. 2007.
Umaga versus John Cena from Royal Rumble.
I got John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. 2008.
Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair. And this is, let me just tell you folks, for the next 3 years, I wasn't watching. So I was just going by matches that I had to watch for Newsstand versus Newsletter.
I'm going with Money in the Bank. Wasn't it? Oh, that's Money in the Bank when Punk wins it. Okay. 2009.
Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker. A little bit
Same
of a spoiler.
here. 2010.
Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker.
Yeah, see, for me, man, it's like I was going through like, fuck, I don't know any. That's the only match I remember watching. Like, it's tough, right? 2011.
CM Punk versus John Cena.
Correct. 2012.
Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
Also. 2013.
Briscoes versus Red Dragon from March 2nd, the 11th anniversary show.
I got Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. 2014.
Briscoes versus Young Bucks from August 22nd, Death Before Dishonor.
I got triple threat main event with Daniel Bryan winning. 2015.
Bayley versus Sasha Banks from the Brooklyn Takeover.
I think Kevin Owens versus John Cena, the one where Owens basically squashes him because it's I love the fact that it's just out of nowhere. 2016.
Adam Page versus Jay Briscoe from August 19th, Death Before Dishonor.
I got AJ Styles versus John Cena. 2017.
I have Jay White versus Will Ospreay from May 12th, War of the Worlds.
I got Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles because it's the only match I remember watching. 2018.
I have the Briscoes versus the Young Bucks from June 29th, Best in the World.
I got Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan, and I love that fucking match. That is a awesome match. The fact that Danielson comes out as a heel and like turns like he's so fucking good. 2019.
I have Jay White versus Juice Robinson from August 8th, part of the G1 Climax.
I got John Moxley and Ken Omega lights out matches. I remember watching that's the first AEW match I ever seen. And I remember not being really sold in AEW. I seen that. I was like, okay, this is really fucking good. 2020. I
have Kazuchika Okada versus Kota Ibushi from January 4th Tokyo Dome show.
I want to say that because I think I did watch that for our Newsstand versus Newsletter. I think it was kick-ass. But I just remember AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. 2021.
I have Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega from the September 22nd Dynamite.
I have Penta and Rey Fenix versus the Young Bucks, the cage match. Great match. And 2022.
10 months into the year, I'm going to go with the Briscoes versus FTR from Supercard of Honor.
Really good. I'm going to go with Anarchy in the Arena. I like it, man. It was really, really good. So, all right. So that's our top match. And what I'll do, like I said, people are still actually watching. I will, I'll drop as many as I can in the description. Some of them I obviously can't get, but I'll do my best. And so I'll get your list from you before I upload it. I'll put a little note in. All right, let's hop back into it. We're going to go to Feud of the Year. Who went last? Was it me?
I don't remember.
I think it was you that went last. So I'll pick your Feud of the Year.
Sure.
I'm going to go with CM Punk and Jeff Hardy.
It was Triple H versus Randy Orton.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yep. Triple H and Randy Orton win it with 15% of the vote. So 15% very low.
Idiots. Yeah, it's garbage.
First runner-up is CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy with 13%. Second runner-up is Main Event Mafia versus The Frontline with 8%. Third runner-up is Kurt Angle versus Jeff Jarrett with 7%. And honorable mentions totaling 57% of the vote include Brent Albright versus Claudio Castagnoli, Beer Money Inc. versus Team 3D, Christian versus Jack Swagger, Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan in
Oh my God. They're putting every fucking feud in that.
Matt Hardy versus Jeff Hardy, Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Chris Jericho, Randy Orton versus Batista, and Tara versus Angelina Love.
Garbage. Okay, what's mine? It's anything's better than that fucking win.
I'm gonna say Punk and Hardy.
It is Punk and Hardy, and I picked that times 6 compared to what you guys fucking have. The rest is Brock Lesnar versus Frank Mir, Chris Jericho versus Mysterio, New Japan versus Pro Wrestling Noah, Taker versus Michaels, American Wolves versus Steen and Generico, John Cena versus Randy Orton. So luckily they know wrestling there. They don't know that garbage these fuckers picked. All right. Enough of that shit. Most overrated, most hated. Give me my most overrated.
2009, was it Jeff Jarrett?
The boy, your man, the best of all time, Trippy H. Team 3 second, Kane's third, Kevin Nash, Batista, Tiger Mask, Great Khali, Mark Henry, and Sheamus. Your most hated wrestler. I'm going to go with your favorite wrestler of all time, Randy Orton.
You are correct, sir. It is indeed Mr. Randy.
They're both overrated. They're both fucking overrated.
Randy Orton with most hated with 30% of the vote. First runner-up is CM Punk with 19%. Second runner-up is Chris Jericho with 16%. Third runner-up is Kurt Angle with 8%. And honorable mentions totaling 27% of the vote include The Big Show, The Miz, Sheamus, Scott Steiner, Abraham Washington, and Eric Young.
All right. Stanley Weston Award for you. I don't fucking know, man. It could be anybody. It could be Ricky Steamboat. Let's just go with Ricky Steamboat.
That's a good guess, but it is in fact Vince McMahon.
Senior or junior? Why?
Well, Vince wins the Stanley Weston Award. Here, I'll read you a little bit about what it says here. No one individual has ever had as much of an effect on the pro wrestling industry as Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Keep going. I gotta check something.
McMahon has been called many things through the years. He was called a renegade and a maverick when he challenged wrestling's long-established territorial boundaries and endeavored to build his World Wrestling Federation into a global multimedia empire. He was called a genius when his ideas worked, brokering a deal with MTV in the 1980s, marketing Hulkamania, and introducing the Attitude Era that helped the WWF overtake WCW during the famed Monday Night Wars of the late 90s. And he was called an arrogant fool when his ideas failed, the XFL, the WBF, for example.
So what? Did Vince pay them for this? Or some shit? Like, what the fuck is this? They hated Vince for years. They were the ones talking shit about him back then when he was doing shit like that. What are they talking about?
I think that they were just trying to court favor with Titan Sports. I'm looking through some of the winners to see if anybody's holding the plaque, because that's usually a sign that the WWF's on good graces with them, but nobody in any.
I don't know. That's strange. Okay, my one is worst show.
Just pick a random TNA one. I don't know.
Yeah, you're getting there. You're definitely getting there.
It's a lockdown.
Victory Road. It was okay. Let me go through this here. Victory Road was it. Breaking Point was second. Ultimate Chaos, Bragging Rights, The Bash, TNA Hard Justice, Hell in the Cell, TNA Genesis, and UFC 97 in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. All right. So the next one coming up is Match of the Year. You can guess mine if you want, but we know what it is. We both know what ours is.
I'm going to say Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels for Mania 25.
Okay. Now, I'm going to give my point in this match, and then you can tell your point. At the time, I watched it live. Blew my mind when I first seen it. I thought it was fucking fantastic when I first seen it. Watching it years later, it's the same WWF shit that they... But this was the first time they really did this kind of like kicking out of finishes and stuff like that. So you got to look back at it.
Watching Austin from Mania 17 was really...
Well, that's fine. I had nothing against that match, but this match was, for what it was good. I liked it, but I know you're not a fan, so you tell your side of it.
I didn't hate it. I definitely preferred it to Mania 26.
Yeah, that wasn't that great, but that's all I had seen. That's why I put it in my list.
Yeah. It was just okay. I don't like the wrestlers, so it's really tough for me to get emotionally invested in a match where I honestly don't care about either guy. They're not sniffing my top 200 lists. Yeah, it's WWE. It's a lot of camera cuts and a lot of over dramatic stuff. And the commentary for this match was Lawler, Ross, and Cole. And
your favorite commentators of all time.
Yeah,
all right. Well, I'm going to go over my runner-ups, and then you can go over yours. I got Dave Richards versus Shingo Takada. I can't pronounce his last name. It's Chicago. Brian Danielson versus Naruto. Kenta and Go Sasuke versus Kazuki Sasaki and Nakayama. Davey Richards versus Kenta, Rey Mysterio versus Chris Jericho, Bryan Danielson versus Davey Richards, Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels, and AJ Styles. What's your runner-ups?
Michaels and Taker win it with 36% of the vote. First runner-up is CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy with 13%. That's, of course, from TLC. Second runner-up is John Cena versus Randy Orton versus Triple H with 8%. Third runner-up is Team 3D versus Beer Money Inc. with 6% of the vote. And honorable mentions totaling 37% include Chris Sabin versus Alex Shelley from January 11th, Kenta and Tyler Black versus Katsuhiko Nakajima and Austin Aries from April 4th, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards versus Kevin Steen and El Generico from April 10, John Cena versus Edge from April 26th, John Morrison versus Rey Mysterio Jr. from September 1st, and Sting versus AJ Styles from October 18th.
All right. Let's jump past that one, as we disagree on that one. The next award is for yourself, and that's going to be Woman Wrestler of the Year. And for me, it's going to be Best Non-Wrestler. So for you, Woman of the Year, fuck, I can't even think in 09, man. Who's even there? Trish, maybe?
I think she was retired by this point.
Okay.
Mickie James wins Woman of the Year, and it's not Woman Wrestler of the Year; it's just Woman of the Year. So it could be a LA or a manager or an executive.
Yeah.
First runner-up. Well, she wins it with 18% of the vote. First runner-up is Melina with 16%. Second runner-up is Tara with 13%. Third runner-up is Michelle McCool with 10%. And honorable mentions totaling 43% of the vote include Awesome Kong, Daphne, Alyssa Flash, Vicky Guerrero, Angelina Love, Mischief, ODB, and Beth Phoenix.
Okay. For me, Best Non-Wrestler.
09. Oh, man. I'm going to say Jim Cornette.
Vicky Guerrero. Yeah. Vicky wins it with 2,022 votes. Your boy Jim Cornette second. Don West, Prince Nana, Vince McMahon, Tay Long, Dana White. Which is funny because Dana White's not a fucking character, but okay. And last but least, Wrestler of the Year for myself and also for you. So you pick mine.
I'm going to say Bryan Danielson.
It's Chris Jericho. And he kind of just creeped up there. He didn't win anything else. And all of a sudden, boom, there's Jericho as Wrestler of the Year. So Jericho wins it with, let's go in and look here, 1,815 votes. Tanahashi is second. Negro Do is third. CM Punk, Randy Orton, Jeff Hardy, John Cena, Davey Richards, Bryan Danielson, and Kurt Angle. And honorable mentions, Matsuhiro Misawa, who, didn't he die in 09?
Yeah.
That's weird. And he wasn't looking that great in 09, dude. I'd seen that last match. He looked rough. That was just trying to be nice there. Kenta, Shawn Michaels, and Rey Mysterio. Your Wrestler of the Year, Jeff Hardy.
Cover boy. Mr. Randy Orton wins.
I want to throw up on my floor just looking at that.
With 23% of the vote. It's funny because the first runner-up is John Cena with 23% as well. Apparently,
they tied.
Here's what it says. You have to go all the way back to 1978 to find a tighter contest for Wrestler of the Year award. That year, Dusty Rhodes just barely edged out Bob Backlund by a razor-thin margin of 0.0031%. By a margin of 0.0025, Randy Orton edged out John Cena. So that was the closest ever. Second runner-up is Chris Jericho with 19%. Third runner-up is Kurt Angle with 7%. And honorable mentions totaling 26% include Bryan Danielson, Edge, Triple H, Nigel McGuinness, CM Punk, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
I'm going with Jericho times 6. Fucking Orton, man. And I remember Orton in 09. I know Orton was, I never liked Orton to begin with, but Orton in 09 is fucking rough to watch. All right. Jump into your, go ahead.
You know what the final tally is?
What's that?
For me, it's 4-1 for Wrestling Observer Newsletter. And for you, it's 4-0 for Wrestling Observer Newsletter.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, Peter Boy's not looking too hot that year. All right, going to your in memoriam. I'm gonna go take a nap. You wake me up when it's over.
Please
We're gonna
have
be here
some
for a
respect
while.
for the following wrestling personalities who lost.
Everyone's moment of silence and stand up if you can.
2009 lost Captain Lou Albano, Leroy Alberts, Butcher Brannigan, Kerry Brown, Robert Bruce, Barry Casino, Yvonne Cormier, also known as the Beast, Rick Crabtree,
P.S. My family knew the Beast. My grandfather was friends with that man. That's very cool. Keep going.
Damian Truth, Steve Dahl, also known as Stephen Dunn, X Vectorito, Adam Firestorm, Gladys Gillum, Ryuma Go, Peter Goodman, Helio Gracie, Ted Grizzly, Princess Jasmine, Woody Johnson, Larry Keane Jr., Gordon Lambert, Mike LaBelle, Jack E. Lee, Billy Red Lyons, Andrew Test Martin, Takashi Matsunaga, Mitsuharu Misawa, Diana Moody, Abismo Negro, Paul E. Normus, Joe Nova, William Osborne, La Parquita, Alexis Pillman, BJ Race, DJ Riz, Tim Robertson, Playboy Buddy Rose, Tony Rowney, Damian Steele, Ted Tanabe, John Tolis, Al Tomko, Renato Torres, Umaga, Carl von Bronner, Waldo von Erich, Carl von Hess, Lester Welch, Ord Williams, and the author of Chokehold, Jim Wilson.
I gotta go with Masawa on that. It's a Mongo Masawa that gets it. I mean,
Misawa and Lou are the.
Masawa was really fucked up. I remember I was coming home. I was in a cab, and one of our mutual friends had called me and said, "You're never gonna guess who died." I was like, "Oh, what happened?" You know how it is. You want to shock the person. He's like,
Yeah.
I remember thinking it's Hogan. I thought Hogan had died, and I got home and I remember going onto my computer and going to Wrestling Observer and Masahiro Masawa passes away. I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck is that?" And then seeing it was a sad scene, man. He looked rough before he even got into that ring, man. Like that's and then it didn't really change Japan. You thought it would. I thought it would change the way they do their style, but they really didn't change it. I mean, get dropped. What's that?
And it will happen again. And the thing is, it may not necessarily be Japan because a lot of indie wrestlers have.
Oh yeah, no. Do like you gotta just your spine's not meant to bend like that, and eventually it's just going to deteriorate, and that's what happened.
Learn how to work.
What's
Learn
that?
how to work. Learn how to work. You don't have to make it legit,
especially in front of 16 people.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go into the secondary awards. Most outstanding wrestler.
Bryan Danielson.
I went down too far. Hold on a second. Where the hell is it? Yeah, it's Bryan Danielson. Biggest box office draw.
Brock Lesnar.
Yep. Best on interviews.
Brock Lesnar.
Chris Jericho, and I will admit to that he was good then. Most charismatic.
Brock Lesnar.
John Cena.
Okay.
Best technical wrestler.
Bryan Danielson.
Yes. Best brawler.
Kevin Steen.
Necro Butcher.
Okay.
Best flying wrestler.
Rey Mysterio.
Kota Ibushi. Promotion of the year.
UFC.
Yeah, and the wrestling one, like number 2 is Dragon Gate, but UFC makes sense. They were huge back then. Best weekly TV show.
Is it Ultimate Fighter?
No, SmackDown. Ultimate Fighter was 2. Best television announcer.
Jim Ross.
Your boy, old Jimmy. Worst television announcer.
Michael Cole.
It is Michael Cole. Best wrestler maneuver.
620 splash.
Young Bucks more bang for your buck. Worst television show.
Raw. Oh wait, TNA.
TNA. Yeah, I'll let you. Worst match of the year.
Hogan and Flair.
Charmel against Jenna Morska from I don't know who that is. Worst feud of the year.
Randy Orton and Triple H.
Chavo Guerrero versus Hornswoggle. And Triple H and Orton was below it, but the first one got 358. Triple H and Orton got 78 votes. Worst promotion.
TNA.
Yeah. Best booker.
Dana White.
He's not a booker.
Oh, is it? Trying to think of his name. Oh God, he was with Ring of Honor. Gabe Sapolsky.
Joe Silva. Promoter of the year.
Dana White.
Yep. Best gimmick.
I have no idea. I'm going to do Undertaker.
CM Punk, Straight Edge Society. Worst gimmick.
Kane.
Hornswoggle. Best book.
9.
It's something I'd like to get, actually. I can't find it anywhere. I think it's completely sold out.
Is it Gary Hart's?
Midnight Express 25th Anniversary Scrapbook. I'd like to see that, but I don't think that's available anymore. I'm pretty sure that's like got a print altogether, isn't it?
I think so, but I think he'll periodically re-release it.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, man. I like it. Best wrestling DVD. That's the last one.
Is it Ricky the Dragon Steamboat?
Macho Man. Randy Savage. When did he die in 8? When did he die?
2011.
Oh, yeah, okay. So they still had... All right. So that was 2000. Anyone that's still watching, I fucking know I wouldn't be watching. I would never even clicked on this goddamn thing. If we get 4 views, I'll be happy. Because that's a rough year, man. That's a bad fucking year, dude. Like, real bad. Like, I think it's worse than some of the mid-teens, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, I can't speak for it because what I've seen of 2009 has been some Ring of Honor TV that will be on TV while I'm working, so I'm not really watching it, or like some old TNA stuff, same deal where I'll just throw some wrestling on the TV. But I wasn't watching the weekly television, so I can't say. But when I look back on it, I don't really have much desire to like put in, let's say Survivor Series 2009 or bragging rights or Great American Bash or anything like that.
It's bad. UFC was good. I'll say UFC was good. We were actually watching UFC at that time. UFC was pretty kick-ass. When I was watching Being Wrestling as Lesnar came in. I remember, like I said, UFC 100, we had a big party for that, and it was a good time. So that was a bright spot. Everything else was garbage. All righty. So that's the end of this episode. We thank anyone that's still watching. We might just have to give you something for free. Send you a t-shirt or some shit if you're still watching this. I know I couldn't fucking watch it. And that is all. So we thank you again for watching Newsstand versus Newsletter, and we'll see you again at another time.